What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Give yourselves a round of applause for being here today. Thank you guys for always holding me down. You truly are the greatest audience on the face of this earth. What's going on to my friends and family? I see y'all in the chat getting it in. Y'all ready for a great show? But listen, before you say yes, maybe we need to pray. Before you say yes, nah, we just gonna go ahead and get straight into the show. First of all, I want to give a shout out to everybody that's holding me down with the early cash app. Shout out to ESDC and shout out to my dog Mike, that dude. I appreciate y'all. So consistent. So consistent. And let me just let people know before we get started with the show that I don't ask for it. I've never asked for super chats, cash apps. They have this feature where you can set a goal now. And basically, I'm sure some of y'all have seen it in other people's live streams. And I'm not hating. I don't have no problem with it. I think that people should rock out and do their thing and get their money. They have this feature where you can set a goal. And the goal would basically be to where, yeah, I want to get this many cash apps or I want to get this many super chats or whatever. And I was playing around with it because I was trying to see if I can set the goal for, okay, I want this many people to hit the like button or subscribe. But the goal is all monetization. You know what I'm saying? And I've always believed that the value that I add would yield the results. So the people are absolutely going to rock with me. And I'm just thankful. Really, that's what it comes down to. So even when I pray, I don't ask God for things. I don't ask him for success. I don't ask him for more money or anything like that. I just believe that I'm going to be compensated based off of however it comes. I think that I'm going to be compensated based off of my talent and what I give to the people and the value that I add. So I'm not afraid to add value into people's lives and not ask for nothing in return because my people hold me down. You know what I'm saying? So I've never had that problem whatsoever. But what up to all of my friends and family? I appreciate y'all. Y'all are absolutely awesome. Let me say this before we deep dive into the show, because we got a full show for y'all today. We got to go over Vivek Ramaswamy. He's back on the scene and he's answering questions as to his exit from DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. We got Tabitha Brown. We're going to bring her to the front of the congregation. We're going to talk about DeepSeek in Mississippi and New York. Is ground zero now for deportation. They got bounty hunters down in Mississippi, so they're giving y'all $1,000 up to $1,000 per illegal migrant that y'all get deported. Trump actually spoke on 4 new executive orders mayors of these blue cities, Brandon Johnson and Eric Adams, and so on and so forth, is being called to testify before Congress for harboring criminals in these sanctuary cities. So we got a lot to go over today. We have a whole lot to deep dive into. But before we get into it, I want to say this. And I debated and I prayed this morning because I've been paying attention to different things that's been happening in the culture. I've been paying attention to different things that's been happening all around us. And I'm being very careful about my words because, I'm not the type of person to ever try to expose anybody or put anybody on Front Street or whatever. When people call in and they give their opinion, or they volunteer their information, and then we deep dive into it, or you jump on TikTok and you say, oh man, I'm a single baby mama, then we gonna comment on it. But when it comes to issues like this, I try to keep it general, and then we gonna let the chips lay where they are, right? If the truth hits you, and I want you to open up your heart to this part, okay? I want y'all to open up your heart to this part. It's very important that you hear what I say. If you don't listen to anything and you laugh and you play, because I like to do imitations and say this and that about different mayors and governors and things like that, we get into that. But I want you to really open up your heart and your ears to this, because this is very, very important. Leave these women that are not yours alone. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. We joke on live streams. We talking about busting it down for a real one and all of that stuff. But I want you to hear me out. Leave women that are not yours alone. Why is Anton saying this? Because I got ears and eyes everywhere. I have ears. Listen to me. Don't get offended. Just sit back and open up your mind and open up your heart. Okay? Y'all are running around doing too much. Y'all doing way too much. Y'all sending women money. Y'all asking for money from women. I see it's a lot of frolicking back and forth inside of the chat, and y'all playfully play with each other. But then sometimes it turns into a serious situation. And some of these women are married. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Some of these women are married. Y'all gonna get yourselves in trouble. You're gonna get yourself hurt. The reason that I've been able to be successful is not that I'm smarter than everybody else. And I say often at times that I'm a C student. I say often at times that I'm a C student. And I say that because I want you to understand that your success does not come from your intellect. It doesn't come from how smart you think you are. It comes from making wise decisions every single day. And the one thing that I promised my father when I was a young man, when I was in middle school, and he said, Anton, and you guys have heard it. I've called my mother on his live stream, and she said, Anton, your weakness has always been women. Your weakness has always been women, because us as men, and women need to understand this, we got eyes. And so I try to humanize it and say to you guys, listen, you can be married and still have masculinity. You don't have to hide the fact that you love women. You can absolutely, positively look, but don't touch. The reason that I have been successful is because I promised my father, and maybe some of us need more fathers in our lives. I promised my father back in middle school, and I didn't really start to take it serious until I started to get into college. I promised my father when I was in middle school that I would never put a woman before the money. And to an extent, that is still true today, even in my relationship. My wife, my daughter, everybody around me understand that my purpose comes before women, even them. And it doesn't mean that I don't love them, but I'm telling you that you have to have something that you zero in on, that you have tunnel vision for, and you don't let anything distract you. And the reason why that is necessary is because us as men, we are apes. See, hunt, beat it, kill it, eat it. See, woman, sex. See, money, get. We are very simple creatures. But I've seen the greatest of men have the biggest downfall because they cannot keep their eyes off of a woman that is going to ruin their life. And this is not just applicable to married women. This is applicable to women across the board. The reason why you don't see me having problems similar to how they have over at tonight's conversation, the reason why you don't see me having problems when it comes to scandals, the reason why you've never seen a woman ever, and you never will unless she's lying, you will never see a woman accuse me of doing something that I'm not supposed to do, is because I don't fumble the money. And I need that. I need that tunnel vision. And everybody need a purpose outside of a woman. You need that tunnel vision to stay focused so that you don't get yourself in a situation that you're not supposed to be in. Every woman that has ever come around me, every woman that works for me, they don't have to worry about me petitioning them or me liking them. And it don't matter if they like me. I don't care. I need you to focus on what I need you to focus on. The value that I see in you is your ability to be able to use your femininity to go and get me that bag. Hey, sales pitch, take care of business, do what you got to do. Hey, I love your intelligence. Let me focus on that. I know that other guys is easily distracted. So let me not only get people that can speak and that are intelligent and beautiful, but let me also let you present yourself to beautiful to them. But I'm not distracted. I'm never going to be distracted by a woman. I'm never, ever, under any circumstance, going to fumble my bag or fumble opportunities because I cannot focus, and I'm so focused on women. And a lot of y'all are so distracted. You don't want to hear me. You don't want to hear me. We talk a lot and we joke a lot, but you distracted. Y'all having conversations with women that you ain't supposed to. She married, dog. Don't you know that that chick is in a relationship? You gonna get yourself hurt. And then y'all want to cloak it like, oh no, we just friends. Oh no, we just looking out for each other. You gonna fumble your bag. You gonna put yourself in a difficult situation, and you gonna find yourself dealing with a dude that's gonna crash out. And I don't even believe that men need to confront the other man that she may or may not be interested in or talking to. But that don't stop a dude from crashing out. Check your chick, don't check him, but it don't mean that you can't control what is going to happen. And I'm telling y'all, y'all making yourselves look bad on a regular basis. Y'all making yourself look bad every single day. I'm trying to give you the game. I'm trying to help you to understand something. I'm trying to let you know without letting you know. And I don't look at you any differently because I understand the nature of people. Y'all women out here, because this ain't just the guys. Y'all women out here, you keep on getting phone calls. You keep on having friends. You keep on stepping out every day and interacting with people. Always just innocent. I'm not doing nothing yet. You're going to find yourself in a difficult situation. I'm trying to tell you. You're going to lose your family. You're going to get your head cracked in. You're going to be in a very bad situation. The difficulty with people between men and women, and this is one of the reasons why I even advocate for regular schools to have a separation, and guys need to just go to school with guys and women need to go to school with women so that they're not easily distracted. And that's one of the things that helped me to focus and dedicate myself, is because when my parents took me out of regular school during middle school and sent me to, when my hormones and all of this stuff, when I started going through puberty and I was raging and all I wanted to do was bust down everything that I seen, and they put me in that school, it allowed for me to focus. It allowed for me to dedicate myself because I didn't have access at that time, because all I was surrounded by was hard legs, and all of the hard legs was trying to get the money, because not only did it change my cultural norms of what they was focused on, they was focused on business, money, their careers, and where they was going to go to college and school and doing the right thing. And then you focus on the women after you left school. And that stuck with me for my entire life. And I praise my parents and I give them admonition and praise for that, because it taught me discipline. It taught me to stay focused. It taught me not to fumble the bag for any women that just said, Anton, I like you. Some of y'all can't even take a compliment without trying to follow up on it. You want to try to get in touch with her. What's her DMs? Y'all got these secret messages and stuff going on. Man, I know what's happening. I know what's happening. The reason why I have never fallen out with any woman that has ever worked for me or been around me is because I don't mess up the money and I don't mess around with the help. I don't mess up the money. If the money is messed up, everybody gonna be disappointed up in this junk. Because ain't nobody getting paid if the money is messed up. So you better help me to focus on what I gotta take care of because we gotta get this money. And I absolutely, positively never mess with the help. I will tell y'all, some of y'all have fumbled huge, massive opportunities, multi-million-dollar potential opportunities, six-figure salaries because y'all couldn't stay focused and y'all was so into mess. Stay focused. Don't find yourself in a situation where you messing up the money. Nothing is worth it. It ain't a piece of box. I don't care how gorgeous she is. I don't care how cool she is. I don't care how much she say that she for you and she your friend. It ain't a piece of box. It ain't a woman on the face of this earth that's worth you messing up your family for and you messing up the money for. I'm trying to tell you. Don't get offended. Hear me out. Maybe your father never told you. Maybe you never had a strong father in your life. A lot of times they like to complain and say, Anton always getting on a woman. This can be a unisex subject that we talk about, but I'm primarily focusing on my guys. The box distracts you. It distracts you. You need to pray. You need to ask God for good character. You need to be very direct and don't try to make your words all nice. Ask God for discipline. You gotta have discipline. You have discipline, you can take over the world. You're not distracted by a woman, you can take over the world. You are going to ask for good character. And the reason why you pray for good character is because you need your character to keep you in the places that your talent is gonna take you. You need your character to keep you in the places that your talent is going to take you. You can't survive in this threshold where you got box being thrown at you day in and day out, day in and day out. You can't survive that. Next thing you know, you miss a show here. You miss an opportunity there. Oh, it's all right. I can get there. I can get there. I'm all right. I can get it. It's a treacherous game. It is one of the most treacherous games that you have ever played in your entire life. I am only going to warn you one time. I thought about making some phone calls in order to ensure that everybody was good out here and there. I'm not doing that because I have to remove myself a liability and I don't want to be tied to anything that would mess up my bag. Okay? So what I need y'all to do, and this is a universal message to everybody that is watching this right now, is you need to gird up, cut it off. Cut it off. I don't care how cool y'all are. And the more y'all frolic, the closer y'all gonna get, the more difficult it's gonna be for you to cut it off. Cut it off. Cut it off. I don't care what you gotta do. Block them. Don't change your number. Whatever you gotta do, cut it off. It's messing up your money. It's messing up your opportunity. It's messing up your reputation. We don't fumble bags for anybody, including alien box. And when I say alien box, I'm talking about box that's unidentified. You don't even know if it's you fumbling out of a box that ain't even yours, and you don't even know where it is. You don't even know where it come from. You don't even want to know if anything wrong with it. Stop messing with the help. Stop getting yourself in situations you're not supposed to be in. Stop sending money and taking money from people that you don't know and that ain't supposed to be for you. That ain't your situation. You're going to find yourself in a difficult one. Stop. We don't mess up the money. This is the man law. Man law. New thing. Man law. Hey, let me get a close up for you. Man law. Number one. We don't fumble bags. This is a no fumble zone over here. You drop a pass, you fumble the pass, you got to get traded. This is a no fumble zone. Man law number 1. Man law number 2, we don't fumble passes. Man law number 3, we never put a woman before our bags. And that's not being disrespectful to the ladies. I'm just saying that, don't you want the best version of me? Have you ever thought about why I don't have any problems and why I can talk the way that I talk and I never have any kind of repercussions in my household when I talk the way that I talk? It's because I've been consistent and my chick know me. I've been consistent and my chick know me. I do say go. I don't have no ties on me. I ain't got to worry about none of that stuff. I do what I want to do. I can have as many women around me. I could fly women in and out to take care of business or whatever. I don't have the same problems that you have because you've created a reputation for yourself where you cannot be trusted. Man law, we don't fumble bags. Man law number 2, we don't fumble bags. And man law number 3, we don't mess with the help. Those are the 3 rules. Don't fumble bags. Don't fumble bags. We don't mess with the help. Let that chick do her job and leave her alone. Leave that little girl alone. Leave that chick alone. Leave that grown woman alone. That ain't for you. That ain't yours. And it's too many other women that's out here that ain't even got nothing to do. You ain't got to go and get nobody else's chick. It's so many of them out here. Listen, especially if you single. If you single, take care of your business. Go get your money and then go deal with whatever woman that you want to deal with. But why you got to get that one? Not that one. Leave that one alone, big dog. That one, the one that they said that you can't have, that's the one you want the most. Why do we do that? You better leave her alone. You better leave her alone. Don't find yourself in a difficult situation. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I also posted inside of the Patreon, so all of the bag chasers that's looking for the live stream, looking for the time, looking for the date, looking for everything, that is in the live stream, all right? Take care of your business, be on top of it, and make sure you don't fumble no bags, all right? So I just wanted to make sure that we had that conversation. I don't want you to act like I didn't tell you. Let me read some of the super chats. We're going to pray and we're going to go ahead and get started with the show. Let's get to it. Keith Woodson says, I'm laughing at Trump voters who are pissed that family members are going to get dropped. I don't have no problem with family members getting dropped. Brandon Beecham says, a year since I've discovered the 3-tier system cybersecurity event at 5 p.m. paid off $10,000 in student loans and Patreon gain for the stocks and the real estate goals. See you at the top, AD. I like that. AR Smitty says, Cam is definitely a gem, but much like Aladdin, if it weren't for you, AD, along with a few others, I probably wouldn't have been up on game either. Thanks for keeping us informed. Shout out to my dog, AR Smitty. I appreciate you, big dog. And shout out to everybody that tuned into the Q show last night. We got after hours tonight. It's going to be lit. Keith Woodson says, Trump meme coin pump and dump holds a lot of people. Why are y'all investing in meme coins? Amen01 says, hey, that's my chick, peekaboo. Pretty Boy 79 says, I don't think folks know how much compound interest you've made in your investments. I think y'all really should check out Sock Club and trying to teach you how to fish. It's crazy. Y'all really need to get on game. Calvin King says, especially married women, if she betrays her husband and boyfriend, she'll betray you as well. Thank you, Anton. Sometimes we got to remind each other. Abe the Hunter says, I was digging graves when my peers was having fun. Calvin King says, the man who took your woman took your problems away. That's a fact. Focus on yourself, your health, and your life. Chase the bag. Outside Echo Chamber says, I learned discipline in high school after being told the box controls all men. I'm never going to be controlled. Florida Panoramic says, hold on to your bag like Omar Epps held the football in the program. I like that too. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock. Lord, be with us today. Help us to dedicate ourselves and give ourselves over to you. Help us to stay focused. Help us to pray the right prayers. Help us to say the right things. Help us to not be distracted, because most of the time, the reason why we're not in the positions that we're supposed to be in is because of self-inflicted wounds, not because of racism, not because of classism, not because of but system, not because of other people that's keeping you down. It's because we can't stay focused on the thing that you told us to focus on, and we always have any self-inflicted wounds. I love you. I appreciate you. I pray for everything in Jesus' name. Let's go ahead and get started with the show. If you guys have not known about it, make sure you get a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Also, Tiege Hanley, ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. Tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And last but not least, make sure you subscribe to the channel and send this to your family and friends because we don't want to be successful by ourselves. Let's get to it. First, Trump is issuing 4 new executive orders. Let's find out what they are.
A strong defense. And in a little while, I'll be signing 4 new executive orders. First is that I'm directing our new Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, who's going to be great, by the way. Thank you for the support. Thank you very much for the support. You really did support him greatly. I think he's going to be fantastic. I know him very well. I think he's going to be fantastic. He's what we need to immediately begin the construction of a state-of-the-art Iron Dome missile defense shield, which will be able to protect Americans. You know, we protect other countries, but we don't protect ourselves. And when Ronald Reagan wanted to do it many years ago, luckily we didn't. We didn't have the technology then. It was a concept, but we didn't. And now we have phenomenal technology. You see that with Israel, where out of 319 rockets, they knocked down just about every one of them. So I think the United States is entitled to that. And everything will be made right here in the USA, 100%. And next, to ensure that we have the most lethal fighting force in the world, we will get transgender ideology the hell out of our military. It's going to be gone.
Thank God. You know why I think that they started to implement so much transgender ideology, as Trump puts it, into the military? Is because we had become so liberal that we had a hard time recruiting. Instead of us leaning into and pulling out the benefits for men to then continue to join the military so that we can be strong, and instead of us leaning into diversity, equity, and inclusion inside of our military, they had a hard time recruiting because instead of them changing the message from, hey, don't ask what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Army strong. Instead of them focusing on that, you know what I'm saying? They should have been focused on, hey, man, if you go to the military, you definitely can get your college paid for. It's a lot of people that's out here with student loan debt. Hey, listen, this is the opportunities that come from it, so on and so forth. But we were so focused on getting women and people inside of the military that want to dress like girls. And that's just my theory. That's just my opinion. That's my theory. That's not a fact. But thank God for masculinity and getting sassiness out of our military.
In addition, we will stop our service members from being indoctrinated with radical left ideologies such as critical race theory. We're going to stop it. It's already been stopped. It's already been halted, totally halted. And finally, we will offer full reinstatement to any service member who was expelled from the armed forces due to the COVID vaccine mandate. And we will restore them to their former rank with full pay. And I think we're going to have a lot of people that join. And one thing I'll say, if you looked at our recruitment over the last week or so, 2 weeks, it's through the roof. You know, we were having a lot of people weren't signing. We were having a hard time recruiting people because they were looking at these people that they were supposed to be their leaders, and they weren't happy. They didn't like people that fall going upstairs. If you're going to fall, at least go downstairs from the plane. That triple fall. I use that thing in more ads. I didn't have an ad where I didn't put that in. Just a little quick 1, 2, 3. Reminded me of Joe Frazier when he went down, right? George Foreman, Joe Frazier. 3 falls in a matter of seconds. I said, can you speed it up a little bit? People are getting tired of it. No, we have now the best recruitment we've seen in a long time. There's a tremendous number of people wanting to sign up. January 20th, 2025 was a turning point in American history. Starting last week, we're ending years of incompetence, radicalism, and betrayal, and we're ushering in the most exhilarating era of reform and renewal in the 250-year history of our country.
There was a lot of people. If you look at ICE, Border Patrol, and all of that, they were literally defeated. They were there just for a paycheck, not because they actually believed in what they did, because they had been handcuffed and hamstrung by this previous administration. And so nobody actually believed in what they were doing. They was just there for a paycheck. When Tom Homan came in, he said it. He said, listen, I had people calling me that had been retired saying that they wanted to get back into what we were doing because they believe in the cause. It's much easier to recruit when you don't have to recruit for money. If the only thing that you're using to recruit people for are the benefits and the money, then you are going to lose out on a regular basis. It is hard to get people to sign up and join and want to do the best that they can possibly do and then look at the benefits that come along with it afterwards if they don't believe that they're actually making a change, if they don't believe in a cause, if they don't believe that they're actually doing something for the greater good or is protecting people and it's actually going to result in better results for the American people and for their family and for themselves. People used to take pride in being part of our military. They used to say and salute and I've seen people tear up after they seen certain movies because it accurately represents what they went through and all of that. You don't see that nowadays. You don't see it nowadays. You know what I see? Honestly, you know what I see on a regular basis? I see women doing TikTok in they military uniforms in order to get some hearts or some galaxy stars or whatever y'all call it. I see people, mainly women, doing TikToks in their military uniform so that they can get some hearts and some bananas. Bananas. I see that junk all the time. I don't know if they buying military uniforms, if they really in it, but they be doing all of their little dances. And then they make sure it's extra tight around the butt part so guys can say the same thing. Hey, where you located? I'll crash out over you anytime. And let me also say this. Maybe this should be the box of lighter stream. Fellas, do y'all not know how thirsty you look when you are in a woman's comments all the time saying, I'll crash out over you anytime. Whatever it is, and I don't care if it's Instagram, TikTok, when you post these thirsty simp comments, you look stupid. Like, even us guys that be like, damn, she is kind of fine or whatever, so on and so forth, whatever. We look, we scroll by, and then we just keep it moving. We don't hit the like. We don't go in the comments and talk about how bad, baby, you bad. We don't do none of that. We don't do nothing. We just hit the like if we like it, but we keep scrolling. You don't have to type nothing. You don't have to say nothing. You don't have to tell her, hey, if she talking about how she getting divorced, but she doing it with her bra halfway down and right before her areolas is showing, you think that for whatever reason she gonna hit you up afterwards and say, hey, I seen you typing in my chat. What's going on? What you do? You don't have to do all of that. You just play it cool. The same way that you play it cool. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. I was about to say the same way that you play it cool in person is the way you supposed to do it in real life. They said, Anton, you do that on the panel all the time. Yes, because I'm an entertainer. It's called creating good content. I'm an entertainer. I see plenty of my baby mamas in the chat right now. I see Molly. I see Jerry. I see all of them. It's called entertainment. I'm a content creator. I'm not a regular Joe like you. You regular. You let me be very clear right now. You regular. If I send a DM, they may screenshot me because they want some clout. Or they may actually take me up on it and say, you know what? I always was waiting on you to send me a DM. You know, stop comparing yourself to me. My circumstances warrant a different level of security and mindset. I can't do what you do. All right, we're going to get back to the Trump, but this is the Millionaire Derailment Show. Y'all know that. Stop acting like you me. Don't compare yourself to Anton. I got 10 cars. I got millions of dollars. I'm the clout king. I run this city. In my small little city, I'm the king of my little city. All right? You send a DM, they look at it, but they don't open it because they don't want you to see that they seen it. I seen a DM, they text back immediately. Don't stop doing it. When I say and I make a point, think about it from your life. Your regular, you gotta go do your job, go to Amazon, then go to Burger King and put the fries in the bag. It's not the same. You know what I'm saying? Stop acting like we not the same. Don't compare yourself to me. All right, let's get back to Trump.
And just in conclusion, I just want to say that
this has
been a very exciting and will be a very exciting new chapter. There's nothing we cannot achieve as long as
don't y'all get tired of people acting like we the same? We not the same. We not the same. You know what I'm saying? We not the same. If she become my baby mama, she set for life. If she become your baby mama, she gonna be making TikToks talking about how she hates you. It's different. It's different. I change lives. You ruin lives. You complain about the family court laws because you don't like paying child support. You asking Trump to change them. I don't care about laws. I break them all the time because I got good lawyers on retainer. We different. It's not the same. Shout out to the chat. My co-host for the show. Women are willing to share with me. They don't even answer you.
The Republican Party remains united. I hope you can remain united.
See how y'all get me distracted? Leave me alone. Let me focus.
And it's one thing I give the Democrats a lot of credit for because, they have lousy policy. I think, frankly, half of them are totally crazy. But they do stick together. They stick together on stuff that nobody can. I mean, how can you want prisons emptied out into our country? They stick together. They stick together on everything. Impeachment hoax number one, impeachment hoax number two. They stick together. Although I must tell you, you gave me great support during those two problems, those two fake witch hunts, which have now turned out to be totally fake and disgusting. But you gave me tremendous support. But the Republican Party has to stick together. We just can't have people going, 1, 2, 3 votes. And we don't have that luxury. It would be different if we had a 20-point, 30-person majority, but we don't. We have to help leadership. And, you can be assured that you have certain philosophies, that if you're going to have most of the people, almost all of them, voting for something, you're going to be okay. It's not going to be bad. You have to stick together. It's the one thing that I would say we don't get very high marks. Everything is so hard. We always have 2 or 3 or 5 or something people that just don't want to do it. And you just got to do it. You just got to.
He's absolutely right. As much as Trump is trolling Democrats right now, I think that this was probably one of the realest messages since he signed his 220 plus executive orders on Inauguration Day. One thing you can say about Democrats outside of Eric Adams is that they stick together. Eric Adams was told to be a good Democrat, and he was struggling for a while, but he was being a good Democrat until they threw them charges on him, and then he was like, you know what? I'm not being a good Democrat anymore. I don't really care about the Biden administration. But the one thing that Trump is saying in this is that 100% right. Democrats, as wrong as they are, they stick together. We just now started having some solidarity in the Republican Party. But Democrats, they stick together with their bad policies, with their diversity, equity, and inclusion. They stay wrong together. Wrong and losing. But if we had that level of unity inside of the conservative party, it would be a game changer, 100%.
Do it. Make life easy. Just got to do it. So right now we have a very special period because we have the House, we have the Senate, and we have the White House. And we're a team, and we're a really good team. And I appreciate so many times.
That's the difference, Eric. Trumpers stick together. But there has been a lot of people, fake people, including that girl, the prettiest one on The View. She used to be in Trump's cabinet, but she switched sides, and now she's trying to slowly but surely work her way back. It's a lot of people that Because it's a difference between people that, because they used, remember when Trump first got into office, they tried to separate MAGA from Republicans. Now it's cool to be a part of the Make America Great Again trend, because it was a lot of Republicans that wasn't even on the same team and they tried to separate themselves from Trump. Now it's a little bit differently, because it's cool to be it, and over a period of time, people understood, you know what? That's the winning team. We need to get on the winning team. We need to get on board. That's the truth.
Like even with Mike, I called 3 or 4 people and they said, okay, sir, I'll do it. I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote positively. And they're very happy they did now. But when I called, we've gotten such a great response. We just had that happen with Pete Hegseth, and we have it happening with others. But we really appreciate it with the House. The House has been, it's a very difficult situation when you have that small a majority. But in a certain way, it brings you together. It actually can unify more than anybody would ever know. And a victory is sweeter, as they say, because of it. And I think we're going to have a lot of victories, but we have to stick together. We have to work together. We have to fight together. And we're going to win together. We're going to win like never before. We have a chance to win like never before. As long as we stay united, the 119th Congress will be remembered as the most successful and accomplished Republican majority in American history. I believe that. I think we have.
And that's right. I remember when Mitt Romney was talking big smack about all of the Republicans that supported Trump. He split from the party, and The View would have him on, and it was liberals that was praising him and all of this stuff. So it's plenty of people historically that have tried to go against the Republican Party and failed. People started liberals started praising John McCain because he had went against the Trump administration. Because he wasn't really a conservative. He was a conservative, and I don't think that we should try to sully John McCain, because John McCain had a phenomenal career, both as a politician and as a person that served his country. But John McCain was part of the old guard that needed to go away. Otherwise, he would have been a lifetime legislator that then determined the course of this country by being divisive. You got to have solidarity. Everybody got to be on the same page in order for you to make meaningful change.
A chance of doing that. Right? And in January 2027, we will have a larger Republican House, a larger Republican Senate, and our country will be richer, safer, stronger, prouder, greater, freer, and ever before. I really think that we're going to have some big victories coming up, and I'm going to be helping every single one of you. I'm raising a lot of money, and I want to use it for the House, and I want to use it for the Senate. I've raised a lot of money. And, I told my people, we raised $1.7 billion. They raised $2.6 billion. They have the unions with, checkoffs.
Yep, we got the primary message. So Trump is issuing a lot of new executive orders aimed around the military, the defense of the United States of America, and things like that. So shout out to Trump. But you can't troll the liberals. You can't expect them to work together right away. I don't really know what that means, to be honest with you. Honestly, I genuinely don't even know what that means. What do you mean? You can't troll the liberals. You can't expect them to work together right away. What do you mean I can't expect them to work together right away? The liberals have no direction. They just stick together in wrong. They don't really have no real leadership. Liberals thought that they were rallying behind Obama, but Obama was just getting on board with everything that everybody else was saying. That's the problem. Trump is a true leader, and I think that that's the biggest difference between liberals and conservatives right now, is that Trump broke the mold and then looked to unify the party. Democrats are just saying, let's just stick together, right or wrong. They don't even have no real debate amongst themselves of what being a liberal is supposed to be. Because again, the Democrat Party of yesteryear in the 90s and the 80s is not the Democrat Party of today. They're much more radical, and they don't have any reasonable policies that speak to the American people. Nobody cares about gender equality. Nobody cares about abortions. Nobody cares about going to what bathroom you're going to use. Nobody cares about continuing to be in war. Everything that liberals today are championing, it goes against family, which then pushes out the regular everyday American. So then they have to be dependent on continuing to recruit young people that's ignorant as ever that don't know any better, that then feel like they have to stand for a cause. But as they get older, they then tend to go more towards Republican and conservative values and ideas, because then they see, hey, man, they taking all of my money. They taking all of my taxes, all of these social issues I'm not really for. Why am I continuing to be in this situation in the first place? And so, you know, they then start to realize that they're part of an indoctrination camp. Black culture, they tend to stick around longer than anybody else because they not focused. But absolutely, 100%, I believe that liberals at this point are 100% in shambles right now. Let me read some of these super chats and then we'll move over to the next part of the show. Nicholas Henry says, have you spoken about your thoughts on Trump pausing federal loans and grants? No, that's a part of tomorrow's show, but I did see he paused federal grants. Just joined the Chasers. Shout out to all of the new bag chasers. I posted this morning when our next live stream is going to be for Stock Club. Been a while. How are you, fam? What up, Pat? So you're going to disappear on me and then you just going to pop back up like Candyman. All right, I got you. Jerome Gray says, boy, Project 2025, something else, huh? Still denying it? Still denying what? Everything that Trump said that he was going to do, he's doing. What does Project 2025 got to do with anything? Hey, Jerome, stop running in the Victim Olympics and stop following behind black women and white women and voting liberal. Poor Legacy says, shell of a man equals simp type behavior. I agree. New Boss says, hey, big bro, you get easily the triggered. I don't know what the triggered is, but I do like to speak to things passionately. Chris Cunning, see, it's a difference between getting triggered and being passionate about what you speak about. How we get derailed already, the week just started, because that's what this is. This is really the Millionaire Derailment Show masquerading as the Millionaire Morning Show. Leisha Williams says, I'm ready to make a change and rise up. No more dusty living. I just became a bag chaser. Shout out to the new chasers. I can't wait to live stream with y'all. To all of my new people. Magnetar17 says he's saying they won't come to the table as long as they're being clowned and embarrassed. Can't beat on people and expect undying loyalty. Moses says, good day. Shout out to the Millionaire Massacre Show. Y'all gonna keep changing the name? I'm gonna just name it MMS. I'm gonna change it into MMS. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Migrants are being targeted in New York now. And in Mississippi, they saying that they're gonna put bounties on y'all head. Hit a like for the algorithm. Let's rock out, y'all.
You have breaking news this morning. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem is in New York City and just announced the arrest of a criminal alien facing several charges. It comes as local officials all across the tri-state are warning migrants of more potential ICE raids. Good Day's Briella Tomasetti has the very latest from Paterson, New Jersey, where officials are also very concerned out there. Briella, though, you're going to start with this breaking news.
Yeah, Dan, good morning to you. And this is brand new this morning, only posted to social media just minutes ago. As we mentioned, the new Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem announcing a major arrest in New York City. We want to get right to that video now that she posted on social media. I'll try to walk you through it. So this was posted to X at 6:13 a.m., showing an apparent immigration enforcement operation in New York City. The video showing agents escorting somebody out of a building in handcuffs into a car waiting outside. Noem says a criminal alien with kidnapping, assault, and burglary charges is now in custody thanks to ICE. Sonoma. We are waiting to learn more information about what exactly happened there. Hopefully more details coming up soon. But it comes as Mayor Andre Saya prepares residents here in Paterson, New Jersey for potential run-ins with immigration officials.
All of the new bag chasers.
There are people in Paterson who are panicking.
Yesterday, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement made 1,179 arrests, compared with 956 on Sunday and 200.
They ramping up the numbers, ain't they? When Tom Homan said, hey, we know where y'all are and we coming to get y'all, he wasn't playing around, was he? They making 1,200 arrests a day. Only thing we got to make sure is that we got enough planes and that we sorting the people out to where they going to go. Okay, where you going? Guatemala, where you going? Venezuela, where you going? To Mexico, where you going? Colombia. Jesus. Talk about ramping up.
86 on Saturday. President Trump took a victory lap while addressing House Republicans at their annual policy retreat in Miami, urging them to support his immigration crackdown and border security proposals. He says the Department of Homeland Security will continue their raids to root out illegal immigrants who have committed serious crimes.
If they've been arrested many, many times, they're repeat offenders by many numbers. I want them
Shout out to
of our
Lisa.
country.
Federal agents have been conducting raids in sanctuary cities across the U.S. Again, it appears that's now happening in New York. Over the weekend, though, in Chicago, ICE arrested 9 Tren de Aragua gang members. Border czar Tom Holman said 2 of them had murder convictions and at least 7 others were sexual predators. Sources from DHS told Fox News New York City is their next target and that raids in our area could be massive. Again, we are seeing one unfold as we speak. Immigration advocates are bracing for the worst.
This is a moment where we all have to come together as New Yorkers to fight for our families, to fight for our communities, and ensure that we continue to allow our people to thrive here in the state of New York.
Yo, people are going home. If you want to go and visit them, you can go and catch a plane and make sure that you got your visa and your passports together. Hey, y'all wanted to be passport bros, didn't y'all? Passport citizen, passport bros. Now you got an opportunity to go home. Now you got an opportunity to go home. You can go and visit your people where they are in their home country. They've taken enough money out of the United States of America and sent it back home anyway. Now you can go and live in a place that you built with American dollars.
New York.
James Comer, who chairs the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, is launching an investigation into sanctuary cities like Boston, Chicago.
I didn't want to say it, but he did sound a little sassy. Sound like he got a little boyfriend somewhere in there, but we ain't gonna say, we ain't gonna go there.
And New York, he called on the Democratic mayors of those cities to testify before his committee next month. It's unclear at this point if they will accept his invitation, but a spokesperson for Mayor Adams' office says that they are reviewing the letter and will respond accordingly.
Shout out to Siren.
Again, though, to recap, breaking right now, there are raids happening in New York City. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem says that somebody was apprehended, and we're hoping to get more details about that person's identity, where that person is from, and exactly what happened, what he did, what he is responsible.
Hey, remember when they was all getting off the bus over the last 3.5 years and everybody was excited to be here inside of the United States of America? Remember when that was popping off? Y'all don't remember that? And they would cross over into the United States of America down there in El Paso and stuff like that. And they would say, hey, where would you like to go? Some of them would say, I want to go to San Francisco. And then the other ones would say, I want to go to Chicago. And then the other, oh no. And it was his friend over there. Oh, no. We need to go to New York. New York. You can stay at the Roosevelt Hotel. And then some of them, they couldn't speak English. So they was, what did you say? Hey, somebody give me a translator over here. Where you from? And it was from all over. And it was literally naming the places that they wanted to go to. Man, how much of a change happens in 8 days.
Now, to talk more about it is New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney, a member of the House Ways and Means and Intelligence Committees. Congresswoman, it's good to see you this morning and know that you're in Florida at your retreat with your colleagues there. But let me first kick things off on the border here and what we're hearing from Kristi Noem. New York City is now the target for ICE.
Shout out to Ms. Crotty Shetty and Brandy.
You know, this is tremendous, Maria. I am so happy to see this, and I've been home in my district last weekend. I'll be going back tomorrow. All I've heard from especially a lot of senior citizens and others is how thrilled they are that we're seeing these absolutely violent, criminal, illegal immigrants that are being harbored by these
don't try to duplicate my voice. When I'm imitating people and they languages and stuff, it's an accurate, it sounds just like that. Hey, where would you like to go? Where are you from? I'm from Guatemala. Guatemala? Okay. Where Guatemala is? Where's your family? Like, man, I ain't even think about trying to learn no English before you got here. You ain't got Google Translate. You ain't got nothing. You just showed up with a Dora the Explorer backpack and a pink jacket and a hoodie. Where your kids at? Where your wife at? Where everybody at? How come y'all over here? How come everybody is traveling in packs of 80 and it's all men. Where are the women at in this whole thing? Because I seen when y'all was marching towards the border in Mexico, there was a lot of women in that troop. Now all I see is 80 men, 100 men, all making a trek through the United States of America. We had more men. That's why we start. Have y'all noticed? That's why we started to have a balance of the ratio of men to women, is because we started having all of these migrant men come over until you have millions of migrant men come over to the United States of America. Next thing you know, women start getting sassy. I can go and date who I want. Wait a minute. Just 4 years ago, there was a shortage of men inside of the United States of America. It was like a 5-to-1 ratio of men to women. Now all of a sudden you want to get tough because you think that it's an equal amount. We going back to the way that it used to be before Biden got in office. We going back to scratch. Hey, listen, hold on. Give me a second. I just want to say this real quick. I know I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Whenever you start to say that, it go bad. We gonna have to get some act right for my security guards that's in this building. They not my personal security guards. My personal people, they do things right. Every day, y'all. I'm a whisper because I can see them. Every day, y'all. Every single day. I got a security guard in this building. And it's a little cubby closet that's over there. And you know what he do? This dude is always sleepy. And he go into the cubby closet and he take a nap every single day. The security guard is always sleepy. And even when he woke, all he do is be on the phone and be watching NBA games from the day before. I'm telling you the truth. Because I could see directly out into the hallway. And so I see him sneaking into the cubby closet. And so he be trying to act like he don't see me, but I see him. Now, I'm one of the biggest, I'm like the only black owner inside of, no, it's another lady that's inside of the building. And we the only black owners. But how come they feel comfortable? That's the thing that I'm trying to figure out. How come they feel comfortable always doing stuff around us because he black? Now, when we had the white security guard, when I first got in this building before he retired, he was on top of things. He was making sure that people were getting in. He was working with the contractors that was coming into the building and stuff like that. But as soon as we get a black security guard, all of a sudden he's sleepy every day. He used to sleep in a car, but I guess he got in trouble for sleeping in a car. So now he comes in and he goes into this little cubby room and he take a nap all day. Every day this dude taking a nap. Now, how should I handle this? And the reason that I'm asking this is because, then they gonna call me a sellout because I don't feel like I'm getting what I'm paying in security guard, because we get extra fees for people to babysit the building and stuff like that. So we all pay into it. But then I don't want to say nothing because then I'm gonna sound like the bad guy. Can y'all hear me good? Somebody said, why is you telling on him? Because I pay his salary. And first of all, I didn't tell on him yet, but I pay his salary. See, it's different when you an employer, when you an owner. When you just a worker, you can say that amongst your workers. You can say that amongst your friends. Hey man, don't be snitching. But when you the employer, when you're the person that actually needs your building secure, when you're the person that actually needs security to make sure that certain people don't get up to my unit, my suite, it hit a little bit different, don't it? So now I've had to take extra steps. I got my own security. I got extra locks on the inside of the door to make sure that people can't just come in and stuff. And it's all because people are being incompetent and they not doing their jobs. Somebody said, why am I whispering? Because it makes it seem like it's more of a secret if we whisper. it's not really changing anything or doing anything, but it seems like we all sharing something that we not supposed to share if I whisper, right? Let's head over to Mississippi and talk about the bounties that's happening on Mississippi.
Registered bounty hunters in Mississippi could get $1,000 for each successful deportation they facilitate. That's under the terms of House Bill 1484, which would create the, quote, Mississippi Illegal Alien Certified Bounty Hunter Program. A Mississippi District Attorney, Matthew Barton, proposed the bill, which was authored by Republican State Representative Justin Keene. Representative Keene joining us now live this morning to explain all of it. Thank you so much for taking the time to join.
Then y'all gonna sit there and get mad at me and say, no, diversity, equity, and inclusion is supposed to be a good thing. We need more jobs. They tried to convince me last night that black people work just as hard. And I'm not saying all black people, because I know that there's outliers amongst every single community. Hard working, there's a hard worker. But they gonna try to convince me last night on the panel that people that come into this country that's doing some of the hardest jobs don't work harder than people that's already born here. You lying to me? I see it every day. I see it every single day. Every day I see it in real time. You lying to me? No, that's not true. The data says otherwise. My eyes and what I interact with every single day tell me otherwise. I see it in real time. I don't know if y'all ever started a business. I don't know if y'all ever hired nobody before, but I'm trying to tell you that your experiences is going to be a little bit different. You're going to have a whole nother perspective. People sitting there talking to me, oh, Anton is against the culture. No, I'm against your lazy daddy that keep on asking me for a job and asking me for an advance so he can go and get some crack, and then don't show up on Friday because he got his check too early on Thursday. We used to issue checks. We stopped doing direct deposit and we started to issue physical checks, and we wouldn't issue them until after their shift was over on Friday because we didn't want them to disappear. That's the type of stuff that we be dealing with. Oh, man, no, Anton, that's stereotyping. No, that's real life. That's real life. Don't sit here and tell me I'm stereotyping. I didn't open up too many businesses and cut too many checks from people. I know what's really happening.
Join us here today.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I appreciate being here.
Of course. Well, first off, I want to do a broad overlook here at this legislation. Can you break down exactly what it is and what it would really do?
Well, this piece of legislation was brought about to fill a gap. We all have seen over the last 4 years kind of what the Biden administration has done to the ICE department. He's basically tried to shut it down to where it's non-functional. So House Bill 1484 was created to give us a neighborhood watch sort of gap for people that deal with criminals on a day-to-day basis. That's what bounty hunters, law enforcement, bails bondsmen do. So it's an information gathering to our higher up law enforcement community to then push that information to ICE so they can then act on that information.
And what you're looking at,
they are proposing, this is the latest proposal. All right. So for all of y'all that was looking to make some extra money, so for all of my Lyft driver, my Uber Eats drivers, this is the legislation that's being proposed, up to $1,000 per illegal. Now, somebody will say, Anton, that's a lot of money. How can we afford to do it? Well, we got to spend a bunch of money on agencies and all of these other people in order to do the research to come and find them and track them down anyway. If you circumvent the process by making it easier, you actually saving us money. We'd like to share our fortune, our good fortune, and the budget that we using to make sure that we get the people out of here that's not supposed to be here. Yes. Everybody about to become a bounty hunter now. Everybody about to become a bounty hunter. They are proposing that possibly spending $1,000, you get a $1,000 reward for every person that you find not doing what they supposed to do over here in the United States of America. Boy, it ain't gonna be no more roofers out here in these streets.
Brought this up a little bit earlier, but this is a post from Secretary Kristi Noem as she says arresting some criminal aliens this morning in NYC Thank you to the brave officers involved. Why did you want to make sure to be a part of this? Why was it so important for you?
Well, my family has a background in law enforcement, as do I. On top of that, I feel like as a representative
You on your
here
way
in
to
the
Home
district
Depot?
and for the state of Mississippi, we're supposed to represent our constituents, what their wants. And after you see the referendum vote that President Trump got, he basically ran on this as one of his number one agendas. So this is an opportunity for Mississippi to kind of take that step to support him and to illustrate to the voters that we're trying to do, and we hear what you're saying.
As the author of this piece of legislation, do you see it getting enough support to move forward?
I do. I had some conversations with people as recent as last night. The committee is aware of the bill, and there's been numerous conversations to kind of work this forward. What we would like to have happen is, to have multiple people at the table so that multiple different ideas can come forward so that the best piece for Mississippi and for the nation can then, be put into legislation.
That's going to be crazy. If they can push through that type of legislation and for it to stand, it's going to be hard for people to be getting away. Because now, the very person that you think is your neighbor may be the person that tell on you. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read a few of these super chats, and then we're going to go from there. People like, Anton, why was you whispering? Because it seems like it's more of a secret. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a secret. We all trying to figure it out if I whisper. That's for the people that like secrets. Oh shoot. Man, did I mess that up? Hold on, I gotta go back and get that super chat. Give me a second. Okay, Zach. I'm gonna go back to Zach. I don't like missing people. Dragonfly. Shout out to my girl Dragonfly. Dragonfly says, I got that super sticker for you, big dog. Thank you, Dragonfly. Thank you for holding me down. Zach in the building. Zach says, let's be honest. The only reason the Democrats care is because they will lose seats in Congress due to districts getting smaller in the census. That is true. Why it be? But I always try to wonder, do they actually count these people in the census if they're illegals? YB says, 80, pull up the old clips of the immigrants. I can't. We got to keep on point. I'm already getting derailed. Deetris Smith says, I got that super stick. Thank you, Deetris. I love you. TJ Bass in the building. TJ says, hey, Unc, you should do a collab with Fresh and Fit Podcast. That would be fire. For what? Ain't they demonetized? I heard that YouTube don't like people that's demonetized. And that ain't no shade to them. God bless them. I hope everything work out well for them. But, well, they're not kicked off the platform. I don't know. If somebody invited me, I would consider it. I don't have no problem with them per se. I would go on close to not every platform, but close to pretty much any platform I would appear on. Chris Cunningham says people will fight other people over a spot in line at the supermarket, but will defend illegals for committing a federal crime. This is asinine. I agree with you. Young Haiti in the building says, tell on him. He's sleeping. He's sleeping on the job. Sister says, good morning, Mr. AG. Just pulled the fire alarm. Just pulled the fire alarm one time. Shout out to my girl, sister. We love you over here, baby. Manuel AG says that sounds like the kind of security guard that waits outside for the police when things pop off. You'd be surprised at things that I know. Del Rose in the building, the tireless accountant, says, new bag chaser, always looking to learn from others, ready to move to the goal of 5 million total investments in hard assets. I love this, people. I can't wait for it. Mr. Lot, shout out to my dog, Mr. Lot. Mr. Lot changed his picture. For a lot of companies, if you call off the day before or after payday, you don't get paid. Yeah, I was being too nice. Sometimes people say that I'm too nice. Trump orders pause on all federal grants and loans. I am familiar with that, but I have to do a little bit of research. Rich Steve in the building says, I used to lean more liberal and then you woke me up. Don't tell that to Cam. Bottom line news says it's true. Mississippi is not playing with illegals. Shout out to Mississippi. I love Mississippi. Biloxi, but I'm going to have to head to the rest of Mississippi too. Tell on a neighbor for government favor. I like that. That may be a free house for you. You might be able to get a house on the cheap. Wyatt B856 says, AD, if someone been in this country for over 5 years and can't speak English, are they most likely an immigrant? Just asking so I can start profiling them, trying to get this money. Yes. The answer is yes. All right. Vaughn, LA23 says, I got a super. Thank you, Vaughn. I appreciate you also. Thank y'all for holding me down. I continue to read super chats throughout the show. Space Train says, would it be considered kidnapping if I held a few illegals until ICE got to my warehouse? Yes, it probably would. You ain't got to do all of that. Chip Burner says, I'm going to use my ICE money and go to Cancun and see the same people that you got deported working for you there. JBFM101 says, hey, D, been a fan for a long time. Any advice for someone looking to move to the U.S. from London working in IT? Well, first of all, don't be illegal. That's probably the first piece of advice that I can give you. No, I think that you'll do well. I don't think that there's any different requirements for what you need to do in order to be successful here than it is. We had a lot of people that were working remotely in different countries and stuff like that when I worked for the different companies that I work for. So, I think you'll do just fine. We don't do a lot of work. Most people that work in information technology, especially as engineers and things like that, they probably do 2 to 3 hours of work total throughout the day. And then the rest of it may be meetings, to be honest with you. So I don't know what it's like over in y'all place, but it is what it is. Let's continue on with the show, y'all. So blue city mayors are now being called, and I don't want to spend any more than 10 minutes on this one. Blue city mayors, including Brandon Johnson and Eric Adams, are being called before Congress to testify. Check it out and let's talk about it, y'all. Let's get into it.
Also breaking tonight, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson's summons to Congress to testify about Chicago's status as a sanctuary city. We have learned this letter from the House Committee on Oversight and Reform was delivered to City Hall today. It, quote, invites Johnson to testify at a public hearing on Capitol Hill February 11th. The letter states that there are 12 states and hundreds of cities and counties with sanctuary laws or policies, but it singles out Chicago, New York, Boston, and Denver as cities that fail to comply with federal law. The letter says, quote, citizens of all 4 cities have suffered due to sanctuary policies.
So, remember when they said that they would work against the Trump administration and Tom Homan and ICE in the United States of America, basically to prevent them from being able to arrest illegal criminals and wouldn't work with the Trump administration? There's consequences that come before that. So now they got to testify before Congress. And I've also heard that the Trump administration is trying to introduce an opportunity to maybe even deal with these people and arrest them. Now, Eric Adams, who also right here is also being called to testify before Congress.
And with the immigration crackdown underway, Mayor Adams is being called to testify before Congress about New York City's sanctuary city status. Christina Fan joins us live from City Hall with the latest on this. Christina?
Good morning, Chris. The House Oversight Committee says there are hundreds of cities and counties all across the country that have sanctuary policies, but 4 in particular, including New York City, stand out in their failure to abide by federal law and as a result have put its residents at risk. Mayor Adams is being summoned to Washington, D.C. by the House Oversight Committee to talk about sanctuary jurisdictions, their impact on public safety, and the effectiveness of federal efforts to enforce the immigration laws. In a letter to Adams and the mayors of Denver, Boston, and Chicago,
what happened to Atlanta? I think that Andre Dickens down in Atlanta also needs to come before Congress to testify. Not just the mayor of Boston, not just the mayor of Denver, Mike Johnson. Remember all of these people? Guess what? Biden didn't issue a pardon for them on his way out the door. All of the people that he said be a good Democrat, he didn't issue a pardon for them. He issued a pardon for Liz Cheney, Dr. Fauci, Hunter Biden. He issued pre-pardons for them. Brandon Johnson, Eric Adams, you on your own. Mike Johnson, you on your own. The mayor of Boston, you on your own. I think we need to bring the mayor of Atlanta in there too. The previous mayor of Houston, he needs to be in there also. Karen Bass in Los Angeles, maybe they didn't subpoena her because she's still over there trying to answer for the wildfires. She got enough on her plate. But they are sending them to testify before Congress. It's the same letter, but a different name right there at the top.
Chairman James Comer blasted their city's policies as misguided, obstructionist, and hindering the ability of federal law enforcement officers to effectuate safe arrests. In response, the mayor's office said in part, New York City is committed to working with our federal partners to fix our broken immigration system and focus on the smaller number of people who are entering our localities and committing violent crimes.
I don't understand Eric Adams. I genuinely don't. Let me be careful with my words because we have been in contact to possibly get an interview and I don't want to sabotage myself. Skip it. What do I care? I don't care if I get an interview or not. Eric Adams could be one of the worst of the mayors. Now, I definitively think that Brandon Johnson is probably the worst mayor in the United States of America of a large city. Some people say Tiffany Henyard. Tiffany Henyard is not the mayor of a large city. Brandon Johnson is the mayor of a very large city. And I think that Brandon Johnson has demonstrated, along with Karen Bass, how incompetent they are at being mayors inside of the United States of America. But let me tell you what makes it difficult for me to deal with Eric Adams is that he's not trustworthy. Can't trust him. Look at the statement. Eric Adams met with Tom Homan. He's also potentially petitioning a pardon. And Trump even said, yeah, man, I'll look at it. You know, it looks like he probably got railroaded over some simple stuff. They tried to throw the book at him simply because he wouldn't comply and continue to tear New York City down and be a good Democrat. And then he goes on Tucker Carlson and he does all of these interviews to basically say, hey, listen, I got finesse. They told me to do this. And I need to be working with the Trump administration to right my wrongs. Now, if you're asking for a pardon, why are you then playing both sides? You either going to participate or you're going to obstruct justice. It says Mayor Adams has made clear that NYC is committed to working with our federal partners to fix our broken immigration system and focus on the smaller number of people who are entering our localities and committing violent crimes. He's trying to play the game. He's trying to play both sides. He's trying to make it seem like, yeah, we're working with the Trump administration, but he's not really having a conversation about all of the illegal immigrants that are in here and they weren't supposed to be here in the first place. He's not having that conversation. He's not being accountable to the $6 billion that New York City spent to this date, making sure that illegal migrants are housed, fed, clothed, have food, taken care of, get schooling, housing, hospital beds, all of this type of stuff. He's not having that conversation. He want to choose his word carefully. Listen, we're only going to assist them with the people that committed violent crimes. No, you need to buy all the way in if you want a pardon. You need to buy all the way in if you're going to get this thing done. You need to buy all the way in. And so the one thing you can say about Brandon Johnson, as trash as he is that you know what side of the aisle he stand on. You don't know what you're going to get from Eric Adams, depending on what side of the bed that he wake up on or what level of duress that he's up under at that time. It's one thing to deal with somebody that is an adversary, but you know what side of the fence they stand on. It's another thing to deal with a chameleon. I don't like chameleons. I can deal with an enemy or an adversary because we may need to partner on some things that we agree on, even if we majority disagree on other things. That's what happens when you have diplomacy. I can't trust you if you're closer to me. An enemy is better. An enemy at a distance is better than a person that's close to you as a chameleon. An enemy is better than a person that's close because at least you know what you're dealing with. You don't know what you're going to get with this person. You don't know what you're going to get with them.
We will review the letter and respond accordingly. Monday night, the Adams administration also faced a grilling in the South Bronx from families angry with a plan to open a new 2,200-bed single men's migrant shelter. The announcement came after the city recently said the migrant population was declining and other shelters are closing.
We're being saturated now with too many shelters, and it's like I feel like we're a dumping ground and no more. We can't.
Willie Frazier says, Antoine. How come y'all don't know how to get my name right? I mean, I don't trip about it. I just let y'all say whatever y'all want to say. Hey, Antoine with a W. My name is literally right there. It says Millionaire Morning Show with Anton Daniels. Antoine. Move to Florida where Florida have illegals. You a hypocrite, Antoine. What? What are you saying? What are you saying? And you did it, and that's not even spell check and correction. That is you actually typing that as a base head. I live in Michigan. Michigan is my home. Detroit is my home. And this is what I love. Now, I love Miami. I love Florida. But I'm not moving anywhere. I don't care about your illegals.
Do this anymore.
In New York City, immigration officials say they've seen no significant uptick in ICE enforcement so far. But nationwide, nearly 1,200 people were arrested Monday alone.
Antoine.
Immigration advocates say people across the city are now afraid that any law enforcement officer could be an ICE agent.
This administration is hell-bent on...
Yeah, he a little sassy. I've already come to my conclusion that he's sassy. Let's continue. Sanctuary cities is under investigation, including Denver.
Not here at 7, and we start with breaking news as we take a live look at Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. New tonight, a powerful Republican congressman is now insisting...
No, architect, is not a bass head. They base heads. That's what we call people that used to smoke crack back in the day. Y'all ever seen Minister Society? I got these cheeseburgers, man. I got these cheeseburgers, man. That's what we used to call them over here in Detroit. We call them base heads. We ain't call them crack heads. We ain't call them meth heads. We ain't call them pill heads. None of that. It's a general statement. You're a base head. It's just base head. And then that extended to people that did stupid stuff. You must be a base head. You smoking crack? No. But I got these cheeseburgers, man. I ain't smoking no crack. I just got these cheeseburgers, man. So that's what we call them in Detroit. We call them base heads. Let me get a little bit of something. Let me get a little smoke. You got something for me? You got something. And they always itch. That's how you can tell a base head. Even if they lied to you, even if they try to get themselves together, they always fixing themselves up because they nervous and they don't know what's going to come next. What you got going on? I don't know. What's behind your ear? I'm just a little tired. Just need a little bit of pick me up. What you need, man? You got a little something for me? Always wiping their lips. You got a little something for me? Man, why you keep wiping your lips? Because I got these cheese, but I got these. Why you keep growling, dog? I got these cheeseburgers, man. Hey, I got a confession to make. So the lady, I just waved at the lady because she from another unit, the black lady. And so she needed the security guard, but she know that he be sleeping in a closet. So she just came and woke him up in the closet, and he trying to act like he was in there investigating something. Oh, I love what I do for a living.
That Denver's mayor testified before a congressional committee to defend the city's so-called sanctuary city policies. Thanks for joining us tonight on 2 Prime News. I'm Matt Morrow. The chair of the House Oversight Committee has sent Denver Mayor Mike Johnston a letter requesting documents and information about its policies and how it does and does not cooperate with federal immigration enforcement, and is now launching an investigation. He is demanding that Johnston and 3 other big city mayors go to D.C. to testify. So take a look right here.
We'll get
this
to
is
Brandon
the post
Johnson
from GOP
tomorrow.
Representative James Comer of Kentucky, who is the chairman of the House Oversight and Accountability Committee. He says he wants to investigate the immigration policies of big cities and their impacts on public safety. So
have y'all not subscribed to the channel? Wait a minute. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and sent this to at least 2 or 3 people, how come y'all not giving them this good game? We have so much fun over here. We have so much fun. Man, I look forward to going live with y'all every day. It is so fun going live with y'all. Honest to goodness. It is the most fun ever. You guys make my day. I can't wait to get on here and have a good time and perform and do this show with y'all, because I don't know what I'm going to say on a day-to-day basis. And we just have a good time. If you're not subscribed, if you haven't hit a like for the algorithm, and if you haven't sent this to your friends and family, you really, really are having to miss out. Even if you disagree with me, you can laugh at disagreeing with me.
So he says he's going to call on the mayors of Boston, Chicago, New York, and Denver, with Mike Johnston set to go to D.C. to testify. Congressman Comer says those cities stand out in their, quote, abject failure to comply with federal law. The hearing is now set for February 11th, according to the congressman. And just in the last hour, Mayor Mike Johnston has sent us a statement. It reads in part, quote, the most helpful thing congressional Republicans could do right now is fix our broken immigration system.
All of these mayors are saying the same thing. I hope they all held accountable for the way that they did their cities.
While they work on that, we will focus on running the cities that manage the consequences of their failure to act. Also, in the last few minutes, we are now hearing from Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, who is a member of the Oversight Committee. She writes, quote, the days of sanctuary states like Colorado and sanctuary cities like Denver are quickly coming to an end under President Trump.
Yeah, a lot of these people, these mayors, honestly, I think that they are the ones that ruined y'all cities. And the fact that y'all people, the people in the city, not Chicago, because Chicago flip red, they ain't playing no games. They out here doing what they got to do to make it rain and make it work. But all of these other people that allow for them to ruin y'all cities, I hope y'all feel bad. I hope y'all absolutely hate what the results are from y'all city, because it's unfortunate that y'all not holding these people accountable. Let me read some of these super chat. AD messing around and gonna take all the fresh and fit subs. No, I don't want to take nobody's subs. I just like having good conversations with people that ask good questions. I'm calling Ice baby said Talvish. Hakeem Glass says, I know where a bunch of them at right now. Look like you need to go and make sure that y'all get y'all money before y'all start calling. Get all the illegal immigrants and criminals out of here. Bye-bye, says Solomon Gully. Abe the Hunter says, Dr. No Faulty. Leisha, I like that name. Leisha Williams says, arrest Mayor Mohawk, can't stand that arrogant bird brain. Crook County's worst mayor, even after Beetlejuice. I 100% agree with you. Mr. Lot says, and they want to sell you something random like a tire. It do. It be like a used tire. A.R. Smitty says, as in Slim Shady, you a basehead. Similar to AD apartment security. Not my apartment security. Not my apartment security. Good morning, Anton. Millionaire Morning Show, best show on the planet. Shout out to Gary S. I appreciate you. And shout out to everybody that love what we do over here. You guys are absolutely appreciated. And I also want to give a shout out to my dog, Mike That Dude. Shout out to Mike That Dude on Cash App and all of the new bag chasers. Let's move on with the show. Vivek, I have not seen this yet, but I decided that I wanted to review it with you guys. I don't think that we should be talking about this any more than 10 to 12 minutes. You know, that usually extend over to 15, 16 minutes. But Vivek pulled up to Fox News to talk about what next in his departure from DOGE. Let's get into it, y'all.
Vivek Ramaswamy is a founding member of DOGE and former presidential candidate. So we're hearing you're leaving DOGE after like 3 Scaramucci's. What happened?
Well, the reality is I'm pursuing elected office very shortly. We'll have an announcement soon. But, Jesse, things are off to a great start. I think President Trump has proven, look at the actions that he took in that first week, the most pro-merit president I think we've had in a long time. And as for my vision grounded in constitutional law and the future of the country, I think it's best pursued through elected office. And I'm confident that they're going to succeed in slashing and burning that federal bureaucracy.
People are saying you didn't get along with Musk. What happened there?
Yeah, I think that's incorrect. But what I would say is we had different and complementary approaches. I focused more on a constitutional law, legislative-based approach. He focused more on a technology approach, which is the future approach. No better person to lead that technology, digital approach than Elon Musk. But when you're talking about a constitutional revival, it's not just done through the federal government. It's done through federalism, where states also lead the way. So I'll have to be saying more on that very shortly, Jesse.
All right,
but that's
so
going to be my
Elon
next
didn't
stop.
fire you.
No, we had a mutual discussion, and I think that I wish him well, and we're on the same page where divide and conquer in saving the country. It's not a one-man show from the top down or the bottom up. It's all of the above, and that's what
We had a discussion. Let me rewind that a little bit because Vivek is really smart and he knows how to speak and he knows how to communicate very, very well. And so we got to try to mine it out and read between the lines. And I got to be objective here, guys. I have to be objective here. I cannot, under any circumstance, not be objective and call a spade a spade. So if I think something different than what's being communicated, that's one thing. And I'm just going to say it. I just got to be real. And it's not because I can't say, oh, because I'm a conservative, I got to be, or I'm a Republican, I got to be on one side. We got to call a spade, but I got to look at this closely and I got to pick my words carefully.
Get along with Musk. What happened there?
Yeah, I think that's incorrect. But what I would say is we had different and complementary approaches. I focused more on a constitutional law, legislative-based approach. He focused more on a technology approach, which is the future approach. No better person to lead that technology, digital approach than Elon Musk. But when you're talking about a constitutional revival, it's not just done through the federal government. It's done through federalism, where states also lead the way. So I'll have to be saying more on that very shortly, Jesse.
All right,
but that's
so
going to be my
Elon
next
didn't
stop.
fire you.
No, we had a mutual discussion, and I think that I wish him well, and we're on the same page where divide and conquer in saving the country. It's not a one-man show from the top down or the bottom up. It's all of the above, and that's what
Let me tell you the honest to God truth. I don't think that Vivek ever wanted to be a part of DOGE in the first place. I believe that Vivek wanted a more significant, and I haven't talked to anybody about this. Nobody has spoken about this. This is just my own personal opinion, speaking objectively about what is going on. I believe that Vivek is the odd man out. He's the one person, because Elon Musk is not interested in being a cabinet member. Elon Musk is interested in shaping what happens here in America because he believes that we are falling behind, and he has international relationships and international businesses that then can see the lens from a global view, and he knows what happens in America and that we actually need to be running the federal government more efficiently, similar to how we run companies, which is where DOGE came from. Think about it for a second. DOGE, D-O-G-E, DOGE is literally the name of his coin. The Department of Government Efficiency. Do you think for one second that I'm supposed to believe that Vivek Ramaswamy, who is a self-made man in his own right, signed on and was like, you know what, let's name it Doge, like the Doge coin, right? I believe that Vivek Ramaswamy, especially considering all of the work that he did during this administration, during this campaign season, especially considering how great his debate performances was, all of the street interviews, right? He was the one that was the star. He was the breakout star of the Republican Party when everybody was trying to debate over Ron DeSantis and all of this stuff. He outshined everybody. And I believe that Vivek Ramaswamy actually wanted a more significant position that would then allow for him to position himself better in his political future. But just being a co-chair or a co-holder or a co-founder or co-something of the Department of Government Efficiency, in which Elon Musk was the one that's getting all of the visibility for it. And I believe, and this is the honest to God truth, I just got to call it like I see it. I believe that they had some fundamental differences in how they go about managing and doing things and partnering from a business philosophy. You don't understand how alphas work. And although some people will probably think that Vivek is not an alpha, he very much is a self-made man and an alpha. And when you have that type of thing, it's very difficult for you to merge those personalities into one company. You can have partnerships to where, hey, Apple is partnering with Samsung in order to make their lenses for their cameras or their, screens for their phones. But you can't have a lot of times an all-star game. You can't have all-stars playing on the same. I mean, even if you look at it from a sports lens, it wasn't until Dwayne Wade said that I'm going to take a step back and let LeBron James lead. Chris Bosh on the Miami Heat, when they were the Heatles, right? When LeBron and Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade all played for the Miami Heat, and they lost that first year, it wasn't that they weren't the most talented team in the league. It was because you had too many chiefs and not enough captains, not enough capos, not enough followers, not enough lieutenants. And so everybody had to play their role. Kevin Love on the Cavaliers. Kevin Love had just came off of one of the most spectacular seasons in the Timberwolves organization from Minnesota. He was largely regarded as one of the best big men in the league. And then some would say that he became a shell of himself in order to try to win a championship because he had to play third behind Kyrie Irving and LeBron James on the Cavaliers. Similar to what happened to Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade on the Miami Heat. Chris Bosh was basically a shell of himself when he was a superstar when he was playing for Toronto. But in order for that team to be able to succeed, somebody had to play the back role. I don't think that Vivek ever wanted to play the back role, and so I think that he was plotting his exit while still being a good Republican and for the Trump administration, because you never turn your back on the people that's really getting you there, on the visibility, because you still need a team in order to be significant. And I think that he was plotting where he could have an impact, and considering that there was going to be a vacancy because of term limits in Ohio in the government position, that's where he see himself being successful. Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. This is my opinion. This is not definitive what anybody is saying, and I don't have any inside information. But just looking at what's being communicated in the outside in, to say that we had differences of opinion, but then I left because we need to approach this from two different lenses, me from a constitutional perspective and him from a technology perspective. Come on, man. Come on, bro. You can't finesse me. And I think that he would be a great governor. I think that he would be a great governor. I think that he would be a great vice president and president. I just don't think that it's his time. I don't think when they were looking for a position for Vivek, I don't think that he ever said that, yeah, I want to be a co-chair for the Department of Government Efficiency. I think he wanted to be a cabinet member. I believe that he wanted to be a cabinet member. Let's hear the rest of the interview.
When you hear people say that these workers are going to get margs during work hours, what goes through your mind? I mean, how do you doge those people out of there?
What goes through my mind is I'm not surprised. I mean, the fact is you've got 4 million federal bureaucrats, none of whom were elected to those positions in the first place. And the dirty little secret is the people we elect to run the government, until this last November, the people we elected to run the government were not actually running the government. That changed when Donald Trump took office at inauguration. You have a U.S. president that is actually running the show again. Look at that sweeping slate of executive orders. Look at fixing the immigration crisis. You had 4 years of illegal immigrants flowing across that southern border. In a matter of 1 week, we're now well on our way to sealing that southern border, ending these DEI programs, restoring merit.
Listen. I ain't even listening to none of this stuff. Listen to what he's saying. Listen to how he communicates. Vivek is one of those guys that often at times is the smartest guy in the room. But I will also tell you that the smartest guy in the room is not always a CEO. He's not always the person that's sitting at the head of the table. Vivek is an A student, an A+ student. Ain't nowhere in the world you're going to mistake him for a B or a C student at all. Vivek, I guarantee you that it is normal for him to be the smartest guy in almost any room that he's in, but it doesn't mean he's the top dog. And that is a hard place for a person to exist. It is a difficult space for a person to exist. They are the most conflicted because they know what they know, but it's not always about that when it comes to being the most successful in the room. Sometimes it's marketing. Sometimes it's the way you carry yourself. Sometimes it's stage presence. Listen, if Vivek wind up becoming governor of Ohio, it's not going to be because he's the smartest. It's not going to be because, and this is whoever's running this campaign, let me give you a piece of advice that you may not be interested in, that is a piece of unsolicited advice. If Vivek wins governor of Ohio, it's not because the people are going to look at him and say, you smart. That's not why elections are won. That's not what sways voters to get to the poll and elect you. You are going to have a completely different marketing strategy. Call me, email me, AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. We can get him in office. Call me. I'm offering my consulting services. I am telling you right now, it is not going to be because he is the smartest and he talked the fastest. Vivek, to resonate with the American people, and he is a very popular person, but the people in Ohio is different. That's a Midwest state. He gonna have to slow his words down. He gonna have to communicate more clear. Listen, to better communicate this to you guys, it's like Twista, right? The rapper from Chicago. When Twista first came out, he's talking real fast. It was impressive, but it wasn't going to sell records. It wasn't until they slowed him down. Now let me play with your emotions, ho, to the rhythm of a hi-hat. Take a live black. Let me stimulate your mind, body, and soul. I know you want to try that. Now, can you buy that? Well, you'll ride that. And they ain't got to tell them many lies. Peanut butter complex and some pretty ass. Pretty thighs, I'm about to be tight. Your anatomy got to be right. Got to be the flattery type. But let me give it the bone. Click, click. Let me give it that to be right. I know you want to try that. To the rhythm of a hi-hat. Like when he started talking and slowing it down, and he got with Kanye, right? And he started doing it was different. Now you can sell some records. Now people can say sometimes when Jay-Z first came out. He was a super fast rapper. Ain't nobody want to hear that. Nobody wanted to hear that. When he started talking a little bit slower, he started to enunciate his words. He started to resonate with people. He put on a suit, reasonable doubt. He started talking to the people. Stage presence change. Anybody that's ever seen, I'm of a certain age. So I remember I actually went and seen Jay-Z perform when he was on Puff's tour, right? And he wasn't hitting like he was today. Jay today, what he's morphed into, how he started to get comfortable in his own skin is different than the Jay that was on the No Way Out tour. It was a different Jay. And it's the same thing in politics. It's the same thing in business. It's the same thing. When you become a CEO, when you become in politics, you become a salesperson more than you are an intellectual. Intellectual don't get votes. So they're going to have to rebrand him a little bit, not change who he is, but in order for him to resonate with the American people, for him to really get to where he want to be, and he's done some impressive things. I'm not taking anything away from him. Vivek has to be different. He has to be different. He got to market himself completely different. Might even have to get some extra hair right here. Some get his colics fixed and all of that stuff. He got to be different. He might have to put on a little weight. It hit different. I'm telling you, he might have to do something a little bit different.
That's our American character that we miss, Jesse. And the beautiful part about this is these were man-made problems. We got a man-made solution. Now we just got to execute.
Is DEI dead? Because Al Sharpton, he's still in the trenches.
Well, the funny thing about DEI, we use this word. Ironically, it doesn't even stand for its own principles. In the name of diversity, what happened is we sacrificed true diversity of thought. And in the name of inclusion, we've created this new culture of exclusion where certain points of view just weren't welcome. That's un-American. It was neither diverse nor inclusive. And DEI and merit, you got to pick one. You can't have both. Either group quotas or meritocracy. There's no middle ground. And I think one of the things not just the Republican Party stands for, but you could see vast swaths of the American.
Can't use meritocracy. Study Trump. Study Trump. Because see, most of the people that he's talking to, they don't even know what meritocracy means. Most people they don't have a clue. What is meritocracy? Without looking it up, what is meritocracy? Anything that you got to use your context clues for, you got to talk like a child. You have to speak to people like you are speaking to a child. Everybody needs to understand it. It's not about being the smartest in the room. It's about having impact. And if you study Trump, he ain't using no big words. He gonna emphasize it 2 or 3 times. He's gonna look at the people. He's gonna throw a joke in there. Yeah, because they told me that I can't call these girls cute because I'm gonna get in trouble, but I'm gonna call them cute anyway. He has personality. He has sway. He has swag. He know how to kick it with people. That is the thing that's gonna resonate with the people. It's not just about being the most intelligent in the room. He got a lot. Honestly, this is just my personal opinion, but I think that Vivek could be great. I think that he gotta do it a little bit different though.
American population stands for is that we stand for merit over group quotas. That's the American way, and I think that that's what made this country great.
What's happened to the Democrat Party?
They're lost. They're lost in the wilderness. Speaking as an American, I am rooting for a better version of that Democratic Party to reemerge from those ashes.
We are.
Because I think it'll make our country better off to have actual competition.
Yeah.
Right now, they're lost in the wilderness. They bent the knee to the woke left, far left wing, forgetting about the wing that focused on economic inequality. That used to be the focus of the left. They switched to all of this racial, gender, sexuality nonsense. I think they're going to have to figure out their part. That's not my job to figure out. But I think for the Republican Party, having won, I think now is take that mandate and restore the country that we know with free speech, with merit, the pursuit of excellence. We're not victims. We're done with this victimhood culture of the last decade or two in this country. We're not victims. We're victors. We're winners. We don't whine. We win. That's the culture that Donald Trump is leading from the top. And I think that whether it's bottom up from the states or top down from the White House, that's what we want to see in this country.
Is the media winning because Acosta's being sent to the midnight shift and Maddow has a pay cut that she has to take? What's going on?
I think the market works. That's a short answer. As long as you let the free market work and people are able to make their choices, I think you're seeing people opt out of a lot of that media indoctrination. People in this country, they're not dumb. They understand. You lie to me once, okay, maybe that was a mistake. You lie to me repeatedly, I'm cutting off that cord. And so what you're seeing is a migration of people saying that if you lied to me before, I'm no longer trusting you with that. Part of that came from the federal government. Keep in mind, we still have a federal government that, look, recently, now is finally admitting COVID started in a lab in China.
Yep.
We all knew this years ago, and yet only now.
See, he got to change his words. You can't say, you lie to me repeatedly. You can't do none of that. You finesse me once. All right, I see you. You're not going to get me again. No way. No way. We not playing that game. Like he got to I don't know if he's good enough to rebrand and dumb himself down to meet people where they are, cuz he's too smart. He's just too smart. Anyways, that's just my opinion. Shout out to Vivek. I actually like him. I think that he's a phenomenal person. And I think that he's got a good chance to win in Ohio. He just got to, switch it up a little bit. Hey, Nikki says, all we need is Rita to be the weather lady, and this will be a complete news morning show. Thanks, AD, for all that you do. Now, you know that I like to protect my chick and keep her off camera because she ain't no content creator. She take care of time. Her role is to do what I need her to do when I need her to do it. Jim Rose says, salute, bro. Agree with 85%. FBA in Chicago, NY, and LA literally own less than we did in 1910. It's sad how indoctrinated the people are by these political party plantation and not economics. Shout out to you, Jim. Mike Brown in the building says, ICE just got a van of Chinese immigrants in Miami. We're going to have to cover that tomorrow. Elsa Turner says, seems like Elon wants to focus on tech roles and the United States future. Vivek may not think Elon's vision is constitutional. Maybe. I think that they got more going on behind the scenes than you think. LaDerrick Adams says, I got rid of the black lip habit. Shaming works. See? Shaming works. Shout out to you. No more making our lips black. Rebuke black lips. Teddy West Russell, I appreciate you. West Coast All-Star in the building says, what you know about Twister? Y'all know nothing about that. The speed not mob. If anybody sent the super chat, I apologize about that. Hey, if y'all can send me the super chats mods, y'all know what to do. Then I can acknowledge the people because I always want to make sure that I acknowledge everybody that contributes into the platform. One more thing that I wanted to share with y'all and that I wanted to go over before we got up out of here today. All right. One more thing that I wanted to talk about is Tabitha Brown. Right. And the reason that I want to talk about Tabitha Brown is because at the center of this whole DEI movement, and shout out to Cartier Oliver, I appreciate you. So call it the Millionaire Derailment and Secret Show. Shout out to Cartier Oliver and shout out to Mike. That dude says security is a DEI hire, I bet. Thank you guys for contributing into the platform. I want to talk about Tabitha Brown. And the reason why I want to talk about Tabitha Brown is because she was at the center. She's at the center of this whole Target boycott thing. Now, for those of you that may not know, several different companies are saying that they're no longer going to support the diversity, equity, and inclusion, just hiring people based off of what they look like and supporting brands based off of gender or what kind of sexuality that you extend into, or because you're a woman, or because you're a black woman, or because you're a black man, or anything like that. What a lot of these companies like Target and McDonald's and Ford is basically saying is, we want to support people based off of merit. We want people to put the best effort, the best product, the best things that we can sell, because we are a business and we don't know anybody anything. And I think that this little bit of diversity, equity, and inclusion is getting out of hand. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to be removing black brands or anything like that. But you know how woke culture is. They get mad at everything, and so they then get upset. So Tabitha Brown, who sells her products on Amazon and in Walmart and in Target, and so she's had significant shelf placement that then feeds into how well she's doing in her business, is brought to the front of the congregation amongst the culture because she would be affected by the boycotts. And so she had a little bit something to say, and this is how she approached it.
Hello there. Y'all all right? I know. It has been a tough week, right? And baby, it's been a tough 2025 and we are still in January. But I know many of you are asking and have asked and sent me messages about the recent DEI announcements at Target as well. And
who's deleting comments?
As disheartening as it is for me, I'm not the only one affected by this, right? It's for everyone who is a woman-owned business, minority-owned businesses, Black-owned businesses. It's for so many of us who work so very hard to be placed into retail, to finally be seen and approved for retail, because contrary to whatever the world might tell you, it has been very hard for Black-owned businesses.
I'm going to read super chat shortly.
To hit shelves, right? Which is why it's such a big deal when we do finally land inside of retail.
I got you, Chris James.
So it is definitely heartbreaking to feel unsupported, right?
This is called empathy. So she's in the empathy stage of her communication with the people to try to say, hey, listen, I hear you. I see you. We've all been affected. And let me speed this up a little bit. We've all been affected by what's going on when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the fact that they deciding to get rid of it. Oh man, we're all going to be impacted by this, so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. So right now, she's in the empathy phase. She's trying to say, I resonate with you. It's been a tough year. I call Bush. It's tough. We all dealing with some things, and it's been, but y'all don't understand how hard it is to get on these shelves, child. So that's the part that you've seen right now. It's the empathy factor. It's the I'm with you. We are one. We are together. We are all black. We are all women. We are all community. I hear you. It's been a tough year so far for everybody.
However, I am in business in multiple ways, with Target, with Walmart, and Amazon, right? I sell Donna's Recipe, my hair care products, right, are on Amazon. They're also in Target. And of course, I have a huge partnership with Target. I sell my seasonings at Walmart. I do business all over, just like many other people. And what I can tell you is, if we all decide to boycott and be like, no, we're not spending no money at these organizations. Listen, I get it. And if that's how you feel, honey, I 1000% get it. But so many of us will be affected, and our sales will drop, our business will be hurt. And if any of you know business, it doesn't just happen overnight where you can just go take all your stuff and pull it off the shelves. There's a process. And then you got to, like, where you going to put it? You got to have a place to store it. That's money, right? You got to have another place to sell it, which is almost impossible sometimes. And even if you sell online, it's a process when it comes to business. And everyone does not have the funds or the means or the availability, the space to house their own products, right? But the thing that concerns me the most, and I want you to hear me and hear me well, if we all decide to stop supporting said businesses and say, you know, I can't buy nothing from there, even the businesses who were affected by the DEI ban, right? What that does is you take all our sales and they dwindle down. And then those companies get to say, oh, your products are not performing. And they.
What is she saying? What you want me to translate it to you from a C student's perspective? Because it's a lot of word salad in there. And I don't have anything against Tabitha Brown. She's never said anything that actually bothered me or I thought that didn't make sense or whatever. Tabitha is saying, listen, I empathize with you. I know that part of the reason why you buy my products is because I'm a black woman. And when you bought those products, hopefully you liked them because they were great products and you didn't just see me as a black woman. But that is part of what markets myself to the demographic that supports me so much. But at the end of the day, I'm a capitalist. And my ability to run up the bag and still stay a millionaire is interdependent on you buying my products from Target, Walmart, and Amazon. I get it. I empathize with the cause. Listen, when we having this conversation right now, forget how I or you feel about diversity, equity, and inclusion and whether or not we believe it should be implemented or it shouldn't be implemented on a corporate level, on a retail level, educational level, in your own company. Forget that. Take our feelings out and let's look at it objectively from what she's communicating. Her demographic is saying that we don't agree with Target, Walmart, and all of these other places getting rid of DEI. We want to boycott. We don't want to show up to those places. She's saying, oh, wait a minute. Oh, snap. How does that bode well for me? So now it's I get it, baby. We all impacted by it. But let me tell you something. If you stop shopping my products in these places, I'm going to be affected. And what is that saying to other black businesses, huh? Then you're going to give them an excuse not to be rocking with us. How you going to get change if you're not shopping for my products in there? And people, especially women, black women, it ain't hitting. It ain't hitting. They don't care because now they saying that you saying that we shouldn't boycott your products in that store. We should still go into the store and specifically buy your products and ignore everything else in Target. You messing up the cause because we want to hurt Target with our pocketbooks. You think you bigger than the cause, huh? See, what Tabitha forgot was that whatever she used to market her products is separate from who she really is. She just like the rest of us over on the conservative side. She is a capitalist to her core. She don't believe in this diversity, equity, and inclusion unless it continues to market her products. She don't believe in the cause unless it continues to run up a bag for her. She don't care nothing about your cause, and she not about to take a pay cut for you because, listen, I did a lot of work to stand this business up, and rightfully so, because she's done a lot of work to build up her brand and the marketing and her relationships, and she's done all of this. And she want to burn it down for you? See, Tabitha is more like us. She not like y'all, but she trying to play both sides. When you talking to these raging liberals or when you talking about women that want to burn something down, ain't no reasoning with them. I don't care if you one of them. They will burn you too. I don't care if you one of them. They not happy with the brand for whatever reason, justified or unjustified. She forgot who she was. At her core, she just like you and I. But diversity, equity, and inclusion helped her continue to run up a bag. Now, when that becomes unpopular, now she's stuck between a rock and a hard place. She got to make a decision.
They can remove them from the shelves and then put their preferred businesses on the shelves. And then what happens to all the businesses who've worked so hard to get where they are? Then what happens, right? Now, I know that something that could solve it is ownership of these big corporations, right? It's a long way to go there. There are amazing companies like the Village Market in Atlanta, right, who support small businesses, and you can go in there and there's some amazing things that you can buy, but it's one store and it's very small. We're talking about mass market. You can't build that overnight. Do we all sometimes have these big dreams and aspirations to do that? Absolutely, right? But it is easier said than done, but it's not impossible. But until then, and in order to get there, we unfortunately have to play the game. And in playing that game, we got to be smarter than the ones who think they're in control, okay? And
yeah, y'all smarter than the ones that think they're in control, that actually make the decision on whether or not you get prime shelf space or you get an end cap. You got to be smarter than, hold on, we got to play the game. You going to have to work smarter, not harder. You going to have to shake what you got to get what you want until you can get there and start your own. Until we can get our own infrastructure and we come together as a group, as a people. We got to play the game. We got to keep playing the game. Yeah, okay. Okay, I got you. Let's continue.
Say that to say, don't allow trying to be mindful with how I say this, because I want God to give me the right words, but don't allow foolishness to take us into separation.
Too late.
And weed us out. Do you understand? Because sometimes that's what they want. And in times like this, they're telling us that.
It's always a they. When we got to come together, it's they. Now, I don't know who these Wizards of Oz are. Is it some mythical white man that's sitting at the end of the table in the conference room that says, you know what? We want to burn black people to the ground, so we're going to get rid of diversity. Is it like the Wizard of Oz? Is somebody behind the scenes? Is it the Trump people? Is it MAGA supporters? Who are they? I would like for people to be a little bit more specific on who they're talking about when they say they. Who are these mythical theys? Who are these theys? Is it white women? Is it white men? Who are they? Who are they there? Who are using these pronouns they there that they're referring to?
Okay. So as frustrating as I listen, as frustrating as the whole situation is, as frustrated as I am, as all of you are, we still got to be smart. Now, you can still go into those stores if you choose to and buy specific brands that you want to support. and let the other things, right, not get your money. But be very specific. There's so many women, right, that have worked hard to be a woman-owned business. Donna's Recipe is women, 2 women, me and Gina Wu is my business partner. We are self-funded. We are self-funded. And we are on shelves in limited doors in Target, right? Other companies, right? There's a Black History Month is coming right now, and all of these brands are about to be showcased, some of them for the first time. And of course, they would do something like this right now, but they still need their moment. They still need our support. Only if you feel like you can and are willing to. I ain't telling you what to do. I'm telling you what, as a business owner,
I'm telling you to do it, but I'm not
need
telling you to do it at the same time.
until we can get to another place, right? And I don't know when that other place will be. I know for me, I'm under contract. I'm gonna give to you 100. I got another year. Then I make a decision. Okay.
Better save your money.
So many other businesses are just starting. They're just getting in. This is their big break to go to the next whatever phase of their business there may be. We have to have understanding and compassion for each other.
Okay.
And not be in an emotional state, but also a smart state. Because if we start doing I'm not shopping there, and it's our businesses that are in there, that's their way that they will clean us out. And replace us. And say, well, your business is not performing.
Yep.
That's what people want.
Okay.
We can't give them what they want.
Can't give them what they want, girl.
I hope that this is making sense for somebody.
Yeah, it makes sense. Buy my products, support my products. I still want to make sure that I market it to the right people. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Got it. Let's continue.
I know it's a long video, and I know somebody might not listen to the whole thing, but this is the truth.
Okay.
So I want to say right now, I thank you for supporting me for the last 5 years. I have worked with Target, with Walmart, with all the places that you have shopped for my products. I thank you for showing up for me. I thank you for supporting me. When you did, I thank you for showing out for me.
Don't worry about it. We got it. We got the purpose of it. I kind of feel bad for Tabitha Brown, to be honest with you, because she's stuck between a rock and a hard place. She's trying to negotiate with people that don't want to negotiate. They not trying to hear what she's talking about. They not trying to. Have y'all ever tried to negotiate with a black woman? An unruly black woman? Not a conservative black woman, not one who's living in their femininity. Ones that are mad and they want somebody to hold accountable for the circumstance that they find themselves in. If you have never quarreled with a quarrelsome woman, then you really don't know what life is like. You haven't experienced life yet. You haven't experienced life until you quarreled with a quarrelsome woman. You don't even know what life is yet. You don't even know what frustration is. You don't even know what it's like to talk with a woman that slap and talk, snatching dreams out there. Listen, I know you think that you talking to me right now, but I ain't hearing nothing that you got to say. You know why? Because I'm going to call my baby daddy. And when I call my baby daddy, everybody getting aired out over here. Everybody getting aired out over here. Barry. Until you've quarreled with a quarrelsome woman, you don't even know what life feel like. You don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like. One time, I was out at CVS. I was looking to get these cookies that I wasn't supposed to be getting. And I seen a woman that was a part of the diversity, equity, and inclusion, and she was cussing out a person, and she was calling her Karen, because that's why you were Karen. I said, ooh, get out of here. Dropped them cookies, ran out the door, got home, and Rita was like, hey, honey, would you like me to make you something to eat? I said, oh, God. Whew, I thought I was in a bad dream. I thought I was single. I thought I was single when back on the market. God woke me up. God is trying to tell you something. So look at that. Look at all of that hay on that grass. Look at all of them dandelions out there. Grass is not greener on the other side. She said, honey, would you like for me to make you something to eat? I said, whoa. She said, what happened? I said, I thought I had a bad dream while I was awake. I was in CVS and it was a quarrelsome woman that was calling some white lady a Karen. And she was snatching dreams out the air when she was talking. And she was twisting her neck. And she said, oh, I dare you to say something to me because I will do that. And I ran outside and I ran past her Altima that didn't have a bumper on it. And I jumped in the car and I came back home and I said, Lord, if you try to quarrel with a quarrelsome woman, you in for a treat. You in for a treat. I was trying to get them CVS cookies, them raspberry cream cookies. I don't know if y'all ever seen it. It's like a CVS branded cookie. It's like a raspberry cream. It got like the raspberry thing in the middle, and then it's so good. I dropped them cookies so bad. Said God didn't want me to eat them cookies. Oh, Jesus. I had to get up out of there. That's the honest to God truth. Y'all don't want to be quarrelsome women. Be nice. Be nice to your husbands, okay? Be nice to the men that surround you. You're not going to get nothing out of being quarrelsome. You're just going to get a heart attack. Vivek needs a Tammy Lynn from the Midwest. Talk about it. I agree. Anton, shalom and blessings. Also amazing content. Just started my bag chaser journey. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, prolific. And if I missed any super chats, I apologize. I was having a couple connection issues with the building. Bring her up first post. She was smacking grapes. Really? Big one and dub in the building. I ain't seen you in a while. Says, now when Target decides to take her products off the shelf because she started this ban, she gonna say it's DEI. No, she ain't trying to get that. She trying to keep it on the shelf. Chris Cunningham says, she just heard her brand. Target just called her and said, Tanya, I need that shelf space. Wyatt B856 says, AD, you used to always say when someone is losing an argument, settle down. I always say that. Lower your voice and strengthen your argument. It's the same thing. Make your product better and compete. I agree. Kung Fu Hustler in the building says, negotiating with a black woman? Shh. No, all black women are not like that. All women are not like that. There is just a segment of them that like to talk with their fingernails, okay? A.R. Smitty says, God deliver me from white chocolate covered Oreos. Thank you guys for continuing to hold me down. I appreciate y'all. We will be continuing to evolve and make changes over here at the Millionaire Morning Show. But I would encourage you guys to join me on After Hours tonight. Before you leave, make sure you hit the like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off of life. And then last but not least, make sure you tap into the Patreon so you know when we're live streaming. It is posted in the Patreon. All right? After Hours tonight with me and my friends. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the greatest audience on earth. And this is the greatest show on earth. This is the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.